Hello out there on the internet. Welcome to the last dev stream of the year from Handelabra. Probably the last one. It's going to be Christmas next week and everything, so we'll take that week off and enjoy everything around that time. But this week is still work time, so we are working on One Deck Dungeon, and you're stuck with me again. So let's get right to it. Things have been progressing pretty well in the game, and so what I was thinking was basically we can play the game, and then when we get to something that doesn't work, we can make it work. What do you think about that? Because the game is actually at the point where we can kind of do that. And things that won't work are going to be things like maybe we level up. We haven't handled that yet. Or get to the boss, or use a skill that we don't support yet. So yeah, let's check it out. So we still just have the paladin going right now, and the dragon's cave, but that's all right. So let's explore and see what we get. We get a boulder. So this layout issue here is something that I want to deal with, but that's not really interesting. I'll make a card for it because I don't think I made a card for it. Fix peril card layout in encounter panel. That's more of a polished thing that is less interesting. It's still functional here. Level up Leo, stuck with John. That's right. Oh, and Leo, we haven't even played it on the tabletop. We'll have to play it before I go. I'm going to be going back on my travels at the end of the year. So, all right. So a boulder arrives, and since it's difficulty 4, I can actually pop this up a little bigger so we can see things better. I think we can do the slow time, especially if we use that extra die. So let's choose the slow time option. And we're going to use the heroic feat. So we click to roll that. You got a 5. It's pretty solid. And not a great roll with the rest. But it's going to be enough because we can cover this armor box. And these add up to more than 11. So these don't go into the right spot on the box. They should sort of shrink down into it. That's one thing that we could do today. But it's not blocking us from playing. That's kind of what I'm looking for, is something that's going to block me from playing. So let's end the encounter. I feel like if we go to level up, then we're going to have something new to do. So here on the loot panel, we have the options. We can take an item. It's a pretty sweet item. We could change agility dice into heroic dice. That's pretty good too. Or we could take the experience. Let's take the experience. Actually, maybe we'll take the skill, and then we could implement the skill, or we could implement the level up. Any preference from the chat there? Let me know what you think. Would you rather do the leveling up or implement this skill, which I'm pretty sure changing the dice into another die is something that isn't implemented yet. I'll see what we say. Oh, Leo keeps perking up because level up. That's great. Well, I haven't seen a vote yet. So maybe we'll go with level up just for Leo. That's right, Cytosine says, keeping level up Leo on his toes. Alright, so let's take it for experience. So that animation is working there. You can see that they went over and lit up the experience tracker there. So we just need 2 more, which means any encounter will do. Ooh, bear traps. Paladin, not really the most agile hero, so let's flee from that. And we can see it there as an open door that we could choose later. Bandit, also pretty bad for the Paladin. Let's see if we have a better option. Oh, a goblin. That's fine. Except that's going to be a 12, but you know, we'll work real hard. Let's roll real well. Yeah, definitely roll all the ones. Good plan. Good plan, guys. So we have 8 yellow, and we could convert a couple more to heroic to get, yeah, that's probably the best we're going to do here. So we'll convert, if I convert this 6 and 4, that's going to be worth 4. So we'll do that. And so we have 4, 10, 11, 12, and then we're just going to take the rest. I do take half damage because of the paladin, so yeah, it's going to be bad, but should survive. Yeah, down to 2 health. But let's take experience. Oh, and here we get an error, because I put out an error that says we don't know what level up is. Alright, so, and let's go and make sure we can continue from this spot. Usually I find it easier to put to load the continue file from when I can do this. The continue file from when you have to click on something, so that I can control sort of when that happens. So, but it's going to be in the claim loot phase. I think, yeah, that's the right one. Let's just pop that up and make sure that we have the right spot here. Yeah, that goblin is really tough with a lot of doors. Yep, so there we go. No level up action view is available, so we need to create it. So this is our pattern where we have the game actions that are doing stuff, and we want to have a view that is in charge of deciding what to show. So let's create a new script called level up action view, and we'll get to populating it. So let's just go to another one so we can copy and paste some of the boilerplate, like the namespace. And that's a game action view. All right, so what are we going to need to do here? Basically, the only thing that really, at least just to make it functional, we're going to need to like increment that number on the level screen there. So this that's this level. It says level X in the scene here, and that's a level panel. That's just another script, and we just need to update that label. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll put a connection here to the level panel, and we're going to override the did perform game action, and that's going to this is going to get called whenever the level up action happens. And really, we don't really care about, you know, I'm sure like later we'll add like some sort of animation that's like you leveled up, like, you know, da da da, sound effect, blah blah blah. We can do all that stuff in here, but all we really want to do right now is just say, hey, level panel, you know, update your number, and also update the experience, because the experience is going to the experience track is going to change. So we know that the action here is going to be a level up action. So we can safely do this. And level up should have a property like the level, yeah, the next level controller. Cool. So we can just tell the level panel to configure itself with that level instead of the previous one. And then we'll call finish. What? There's a method to finish, right? I don't know why it's, yeah, finish processing game action. I don't know why that's auto-completing. And that finish processing is basically the main game loop is because this might have an animation that takes like 5 seconds or something. So you need to tell the game like, all right, I'm finished doing this. You can go on and do more things, and let the engine proceed. So so that's what that call does. So we need to hook up in the factory here so that the code knows how to get to this class. So let's do that. I can close this search here. So this is a level up action, and we want the level up action view. Cool. And now we need to hook it up in the scene. This pattern is nice because, it sort of gives us a consistent place that, we can say when there's a level up, we can go to this class and do it. Oh, I see. Oh, right, I need to pass the right thing. I passed the wrong parameter. So when you're initially doing this pattern, you sort of end up with a lot of action views or activation views that don't really do much, but it gives you that flexibility to add more to it as we want to add more animations or things like that. And it keeps the logic for that in a consistent place that you can always go and good. So it's good for maintainability for sure. All right, so we need to add the level up action view onto here. I like to put them in alphabetical order. Makes it a lot easier to find them. Oh, that's the wrong. I didn't drag the right one. Wait, where did it go? There it is. Level up goes there, and we need to connect to the level panel, which we found here. Cool. Another nice thing about this is that you don't have this one giant class that knows about everything, which is really annoying to work with. The logic is spread out in things that have to do with what they have to do with, and not the whole world. All right, so now when we get the level up, we should see that level 1 go to level 2, and the experience tracker should also update. So let's clear the log here in case something happens and we can see what we want to do. Cool, level 2, and now it takes 8 experience instead of 6. Well, that was easy. Let's save that work because that's pretty good. I thought that was going to be more. There was going to be more to that. So let's say implement basic level up action. Great. So now we can level up. Leo, good job. So let's see what's next. Let's just keep playing the game until we run into something we need to program. I like this way. We'll still level up. And all right, so now we've leveled up. We still have these two, this event system thing is annoying. So we still have two doors here that are like pretty bad for this hero. So I'm going to explore again. I could do stuff by just clicking an empty area. And it should just show me the ones that need to be, oh, so they're not, oh, that was weird looking. Some issue with the animation there. I can clean that up, but let's go ahead. A shadow. Spend time for each skill you use. So this has a 10 armor box for agility. So I'm fleeing from that. It's not going well for the paladin here. An ice elemental. Well, this is something that actually the paladin can handle a little better. So let's enter here. And we're definitely going to use, let's pop this up bigger. We'll use our heroic feat to roll these dice. This die. And hopefully I roll a 6. Excellent. And now we get the heroic die, which actually it should be showing it coming from the level box. I think it just appeared. That's something that, why don't we do that? That's something that I'd like to do. Let's go and choose a different continue file. We're going to choose the heroic feat one. And because I'm pretty sure that didn't show up, it just sort of popped into where it was going instead of, I want it to like show up. If you notice the dice animation, they actually appear sort of where they come from, like from each of your items. And I'd like that one to come from like the level. We also should probably show the heroic die there. That's something that I guess we didn't do. When you level up, you get a heroic die there, so we should show that. I don't know if that's something that just wasn't handled when we leveled up properly or what. Oh, and I totally forgot to pay attention to what was happening there. Let's try this again. All right, we'll use the heroic feat. We'll roll it. Giving up my great roll I did before, hey? I can keep trying again. Right, so that 6 just like appeared in the middle from nowhere. So I'm curious where did it say? So we have these move die action views, move die actions that come up. So right, because it's a gathered dice. We had strength die, strength, agility, magic, magic, and heroic. So where did that come from? That's what I'm curious about. Let's have a look here. Oh, that's move card. Gather dice action view, that doesn't do anything. I think it's move die action view that handles all this stuff. Let's add in here from. And we'll just use that. So this is going to log where it's coming from as well. All right, so here we go. This should have said like to do, add it from the level area. So here, let's, this move to action view should also know about level panel. Let's add it from the level area instead. So, so initial placement is a variable here that's going to control like where it's coming from on screen in a rect transform, and then we convert that to like a position on screen for the die before. So okay, so now it should come from level area. That die should probably already be on screen, but let's check that out next. So with this change, it should pop up on screen on the right, from the right place. And it also should tell us that it was coming from the level card, I assume, but maybe not. I'm not sure how that's programmed in the engine yet. All right, I will use this. A 1, ooh. And oh, right, a null reference because I never hooked up that level panel to the move die action. So that's something that you should do first. And let's try that. You're seeing the first time we've had a level 2 in the view here, so pretty exciting. There's been a lot of work to do before even getting to this point. So yeah, the die came from over there now, so that's good. So one thing I'm curious about is, was that die, like, should it have been on screen before? And I think it probably should have been. So there it was creating the die on that spot. Oh yeah, it says from general supply, but if I look at the level card, I'm pretty sure it says Well, it just says encounter bonus. I think the die... Well, I guess... I don't know. That's something I'll talk to Jean-Marc about, because it would be nice to show it on the screen. I guess I could just like show like a little indicator on there that how many you're going to get or something like that. But for now, that is good. So let's just save this and say create heroic dice from the level panel instead of nowhere. Cool. So let's carry on and try to defeat this bad monster, the ice elemental. Alright, so I'm definitely using that, and maybe I'll roll a 6 again. 5, that's pretty good. And let's zoom this up again. Let's roll real well. Oof. That's okay, I guess. So we need 11 agility. And we need... So you can't put the dice in, but you can sort of put them... I guess I could put that one in, but I'm going to arrange them here. You can sort of arrange them freely. First, we don't have anything big enough to go into these boxes. We don't have any other skill to help us. So we can definitely convert these other dice into heroic dice at least. So there's no point to having this. These pairs, I think, can become heroic. There's no point to having them anything else because they're too small. So let's do that. So when you convert dice, you get the lowest value into heroic dice. All right, so that will help us get this 11 here because we can use these ones. So there's 2 ones, that's 2, and this 2 isn't useful either, so that's 4, and we need 7 more. So then we can, yeah, we can use these to fill up that 11. So let's do that. To drop it on properly. All right, so that's filled up, and then we'll fill up the things that are the worst. So I guess this 5 and this 4 are the worst. I only take 1 damage. That's pretty good. Another thing you notice, the hourglass isn't actually showing the right sort of state. That's something I need to fix up. Ooh, this is good. So I could either increase my agility with an item or get a really good skill for rolling more agility. I think I'm just going to always get that extra agility die, and because it's got a health, so that's really good. Now with 2 agility dice, I feel like I have a chance against this shadow. So let's do that. All right, actually, yeah, that's perfect. So, I mean, it could be better, but I have exactly 10 with this heroic die to fill the armor box. And I can put this 5 here, and this 5 here, and this 4 here. Almost covered everything. Just 1 box uncovered, and I can't do anything about it. So that's pretty good. Okay, we have a potion option to change 2 of your non-heroic dice to be 6s, or an item that gives me another health. Yeah, we're going to take the item. And I can have 2 items now because there will be a way to click this level thing to show you the level card, but that's not in there yet. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good. You think we could do these bear traps? I could probably do this one, the top one. Let's try that. Oh, and the stairs have appeared, so we're going to... Hey, why don't I get the heroic die? Hey, Jean-Marc. What? I should have the heroic die. That's a rule. You get the heroic die. It's not just combat. Where's my rule book? I guess I can pull the rule book on screen. That'll be more useful for those of you watching. We'll open the rule book. Encounters. Use heroic feat, gather and roll dice. If you're 2 or higher, the level card grants black dice. Yeah, like it's not only combats, so that makes it really hard. So I'm gonna make a card for Jean-Marc here because this game is hard enough, right? Without getting heroic dice on perils. And I also rolled like really poorly here. I can cover this armor box, but I'm gonna die. But I can use my healing potion, and I can show you that it'll automatically use the healing potion instead of losing the game, so that's good. Let's go to the engine and level card heroic dice should be used for perils. I'm sure that's like just an oversight because I'm sure the logic for perils is probably like just take the ones that match the color, and it doesn't also take heroics. Alright, so we have to end the encounter and take... Oh, I only take 1 damage because I'm the paladin. Okay. So I could take another item, or I could take a potion, or take experience. I was kind of hoping to get a skill, but I'm going to take that item. And let's descend. All right. So here we are on level 2 with 1 health. It's a goblin. Well, I think we're going to fight this goblin here now because it gets worse if there's more open doors. Look at all my dice. I'm getting buff here. It's great. Oh yeah, 6s. Actually, I'm gonna convert these 4s to heroic because I don't need them. And I can use... Actually, since that's a big box, I'm thinking if I can... Actually can't really use these 2s and 3s either. So I can convert this 2 and 3 into a heroic and then use a 2 and a 2 right there. And then these 6s can cover the other agility boxes. This 5 can cover here. This 4 can cover here. And it's just going to be a single time because this can just get me another 3. So that's pretty good. And I get a skill. Agility dice to prevent... Oh yeah, and so I actually can't take that skill as the paladin. There's going to be a message here saying that, but because of the armor thing, armor skill says you can't prevent damage otherwise. And so you can't actually use dodge. So we'll just take experience. Oh, magic and agility. And before the encounter, 1 hero loses a health. So that will cause me... I should have used a healing potion at the start of the turn. I didn't think of that. Let's fight it. Let's fight it anyway. So I automatically used a healing potion. It doesn't show much on the screen there, but you can see potions went down by 1. And let's definitely roll this heroic die. And then we get the rest of our dice. And we're not going to use strength, but we can convert them to heroic dice, so cool. All right, so there's no armor boxes, so we're pretty free with what we can do. So we'll put that 3 there, this 6 here. Yeah, I would love to have another 6, but don't have one. and I can convert these into a heroic 5 to put on that. Yeah, we have to make sure that we cover that 11 box too. Yeah, so that 6 is just not going to get covered. For the 11, we have 1, 4, 8, 12. And then I can cover like this. That'll have to do. Loot. All right, we have, oh, this is actually a good one because this is a thing that I don't support yet, so this is something we can do. So the item limit is reached, and we need to choose a card to replace it. So I remember I have an item that's just a magic, and I can replace it with this magic and health. So if I click that, right now just nothing appears, but there's some interaction I want to show there. So basically what I want to do is have it pop out the grid here to show me all the different ones I have, and let me convert one to experience. The same thing happens with skills, and that's actually implemented now where it pops up. I can show you what the button isn't anything right now, but it would look something like this. Like that comes up as a button that you can click to choose to convert that skill. So yeah, so this is a good point to actually do some work. Just been playing the game. It's pretty fun. You should try it when it comes out, or on the tabletop. So let's see what we're going to do here. So this sort of interaction has been done for the skills, but it hasn't been done for the items. So let's see what we get when we do this. Just making sure to continue that. So here we click on item. So this is a loot activation where then we choose item. So that's here, claim loot activation. It happens, and then we get a select card activation. The select card, it says the reason is converting item to experience. These are the choices that we can choose from, and then we just have to implement something there. So and so let's see what we're going to do about this. All right, so let's open up that select card activation. Nope. Yeah, so you can see here we've got different reasons. So we already handle selecting a door. That's one of the ways you can select a card. And here we're handling converting items to experience, converting skills to experience. We find the hero that actually is involved in this decision, and in the hero view. So the hero view is this area up here. It has a hero view control on it, and a hero card view, I guess. And we call this method to configure it with the activation. And this checks to see, like, is it are we converting skill to experience? If it's skill to experience, we show the buttons at the right. If it's converting item to experience, we have a little to-do here. So slide out item columns, the button at the bottom with experience icons. So this is going to be similar to the other thing. So, and actually have a control for that, the convert XP button that like can show the right amount of experience. So basically we want to make a control for this. So if we go back to the hero panel here, we can set that up. So and then what I'm thinking is going to sort of pop out here from so the items panel is here, and I want to have them sort of appear on the side. So I'm going to want to make another panel And I think it doesn't need to have a background or anything. And we'll call it item XP conversion. Or we'll just call it item pop-out panel. Because this is gonna just gonna be like pop out the items. Maybe you could do this anytime with some other interaction instead of. All right, so we're gonna want to put this sort of aligned with that other one. So I'm going to put it at 80. We can align it from the left as well, because we don't know exactly how big it's how many items there's going to be, but we can sort of start them off at that point. So we can use it as sort of a reference of where they're going to go. Cool. So, and then this is going to have, we can add a grid layout on it so that they'll all be a consistent size. We'll say they're going to be 140 tall, and I don't know how far across. Let's say they're going to be like it's 80 across. They're probably like going to be 40 across. We'll see what happens. So we can actually create an object in there. What I'm going to do is make a new prefab for that. I'm actually going to base it off. We already have an item view. Those are, you can see they're not here. They get created at runtime. I'm going to create like a view that has sort of the 4 columns, but then you'll have the right icon in it. So let's just create one here. We'll just create it as an empty, I think, first, and then add in, call this a pop-out item view. And its size is being driven by the grid layout group, so don't need to worry about controlling that. And we want to have like the 4 image boxes in there. So let's do that. We'll add, and this can actually have a similar grid layout to the other one here, to the items panel. That's going to be whatever by 35. Sure. And yeah, say 40 by 35. And so yeah, so this image here, we can like actually and then we'll use one of these brick images. It's not going to fit perfectly, but we'll have Jennifer make one that looks just right. So we'll just put in the item background starting with strength. Take Walker, I guess I'm here now. What did I miss? We leveled up. And then we're also going to want, basically what I'm thinking is these are going to have like just the icons, sort of they'll look just like the encounter card. So actually I could just go and grab, well, whatever. I could grab that from the encounter card, but that's okay. I'll add, we'll just set these up. We'll create another image. And that looks hilarious, so we'll put this in and we'll fit it inside its parent so it looks good. And maybe we'll give it a little bit of and preserve your aspect ratio. There we go. Cool, so there's strength, and then we'll basically, yeah, I want them to be columns like this so they match up with the other thing. And so this one needs to be agility, and we'll populate in the icons. And this one is magic. Oops, that's the wrong. And this one is health. And cool. And we'll name these strength agility, magic, health, and I'll name these things inside too. This is this strength icon. Strength. Agility icon. Oh yeah, so Fanatic is officially going to be in the game at launch. So we have decided that after the pre-orders have come in. So magic icon and health icon. That's already looking kind of neat. We can actually see it's just going to be there. We can see what it looks like when we have it running here. Yes, the idea is basically these are going to change to the base value, and then we'll be like item, 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 item. So let's see how that goes. And then also at the bottom of this, I want to have the XP button thing. But let's just start with this, and then we'll add the XP button thing. So this is going to be like a new kind of view, because the item view is actually like for a single item, not for several. So that's the item view is what you see on the left-hand side there. So we're actually going to make this like a new kind of control. And so let's make a new thing here. And that's actually, it's going to be a prefab as well. But we're just setting it up here first. So let's add a control. We'll call it a pop out item view. And actually, this is actually something, it could be considered a encounter card view. So maybe we'll just make it an encounter card view, because there's no. Well, I think what I'll do is I'm trying to think. So it's basically an encounter card view because it has the items here just like an encounter card does, but it also has this convert XP button. So I want to have like something that, I guess I want to have a way to reference that convert XP button. So I don't want it to be just an encounter card view. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll have it be an encounter card view, but I'll also basically configure it with this sort of other class that will know about both the things. So let's do that. So we'll be able to reuse the logic and not have to redo the logic there. So this, we have to put the namespace. But there's an item always has an encounter card, right? So we can do that. And then it's going to have a claim or a convert XP button when we're done. So, but we want to basically be able to configure this with an encounter card. So one deck dungeon, engine controller. Is that what we want to configure it with, or with, because with the skill view, what do we do here? Yeah, we call in the skill view, we call it to show convert XP button with like a completion handler, which is going to be like, yeah, so we definitely need that, and we also need the card that we're passing, right? So we want to configure it with encounter card controller and that completion handler using Unity engine.events. All right, so cool. So we can configure the encounter card view with the card, and that will automatically like hide and show the right icons, so we don't have to redo that logic. And the XP button, we can configure it again with that card. So this also controls, knows about setting up its experience indicators and handling the completion handler. We don't, but I'm gonna put that in the line here, but I'm gonna comment it out for now. Configure with the card and the completion handler. So I just wanted to have this little class. It's pretty small, but it just makes sure that you know, the hero card view doesn't need to really know what's in these pop-out item views. It just needs to have them. So and set them up. So here we want to have a method for creating them. Because the hero card view, those aren't going to always be there. It's going to create them and destroy them as needed right here. So let's just lay some more of the groundwork for that. I'll add the convert XP button after, but we'll get the display of this working first. So we want to add in the pop out item view, and we're going to add the encounter card view component as well. And the only thing where actually we could add the experience indicators could be controlled by the encounter card view, but the XP button thing already does that. So let's inspector lock this, and we want these icons to be here, and that's all that. Like, it's not actually going to have anything else that it would normally have. It's just going to have the item indicators. But that's sort of how I've set up the logic with those card views, is that it can be whatever bits that you actually set up on the card view, it will try to configure them. So let's go ahead and save that as a prefab. You just do that by dragging. It's not really a part of a card, it's something else. So I'm going to drag that over into the project here, and it creates a prefab. And, oh wait, yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah. So I'm just going to hide that one, and we'll create them dynamically. So I need, this hero panel here needs to know about that prefab, so I'm going to hook it up here. So right now it's not actually going to do anything. We need to populate it. What? Oh, did I put things on the, put these on the wrong thing. All right, well, what we can do is copy this component and paste it into here. Wait, I want to copy the encounter card. Paste as new. We also forgot to connect the encounter card view property. All right, that'll teach me to put things on the wrong game object. All right, so great. We'll save the project there, and now we should be able to assign this property. So notice there's one more thing that's important. The hero panel here needs to know what's the parent. Where is it going to create these objects into? So that's going to be pop out item parent. All right, so, and we'll hook that up when we go back. So here we want to basically create one of those controls for each item that this activation is talking about. So let's do that for each card. We want to create a pop-out. And I forgot the word in. So we want to instantiate our pop-out prefab into the pop-out parent. And we can call it pop-out. And we know it's going to be pop-out item view. Okay. So, and then we can call poop-out configure. We know it's going to be an encounter card, so we can call this little toEncounter. and the completion handler. Cool. So and this could have a nice. This will have a nice animation, but right now it's just going to appear. We also want to update our item numbers to be the natural ones, which we'll do that after a second here. But so now with this, we should see. I think there's 3 items. We should see 3 items appearing once I connect this other property. Once it compiles. Yeah, so the parent is this. Wait, yeah. Cool. So let's see. All right, so when I click this, I get a null reference. What did I miss? Oh, I didn't actually comment that out, that I was going to comment out. That's all right. Starting to get some slow compile times. Unity 2017.3 is supposed to have a way to improve compile times significantly, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, so I chose that, and oh, it did create them, but they're inactive. So we'll fix that. But you can see actually it's stacking them up in a funny way. And I can fix that by changing this to only allow a single row. And they'll go across like that. So that's good. That's progress. Let's go back here and make sure that we set the game object active. Because you never know if someone edits a prefab, if they save it as active or inactive. It's always, I find, good to set it active after instantiate. And then let's go back and fix that grid, and then we should have it appear how we want. I mean, we could potentially just like increase the width of this grid to be really big, but we don't even actually know, how big that's going to be. So we can just say there's 1 row, and then it'll always be great. Let's see. All right, so here we go. That's looking good. We've got, this is kind of what I'm looking for. We've got the 3 different items that we've got, and we want to have another button here that's going to show how much experience points you would get for trading it in. And I also want to update these numbers to show the natural numbers instead of having those included. So this would be like 1, that would be 3, that would be 3, and that would be... actually, another change I'm going to do is instead of this showing current health, it's going to show like your base, like your health attribute, and then we'll also show health tokens on the card. Right now, it's just sort of showing your current health. So let's add those. We can update... Let's add the buttons. That's, I think, the most important thing first. So we'll open up this prefab instance here, and we want to add a convert XP button to the bottom. Since this is a prefab itself, we can't have a separate prefab really easily for the convert XP button, so we just have to have it separate. And I want to add a button into this, and I don't need, doesn't need to have a label. Actually, what I'll actually grab, the skill view has one that I can just sort of work from. I don't think, yeah, I can get it from here maybe. Can I do this? Is that a thing you can do? Sort of. I can like take this part of the XP button. I don't think I can do that. All right, let me just throw in a skill view and copy and paste. the bit I want. I want that convert XP button. And it's not, the visuals of that are not finalized by any means, but so right now the skills one is sort of a wider button, and this is going to be more of a tall button, but I think actually I want this to be a little wider. So let's make this like 35 high is perfect, but say 50 across. And then this can be like basically 2 up. And this button doesn't need to be controlled by the grid. So I'm going to add a, right, it has its own grid for the XP in it, but I'm going to add a layout element. So right now it's inside a grid, so the grid is deciding that it has to be this size, but I can click this ignore layout and then I can do whatever I want. So I want this to be stuck to the bottom, but actually like below. And I think it can be sort of a little taller, maybe even like 70 high, and it's at like minus 75. But the width has to be like, right, let's anchor the width to be like basically almost the full width. Or maybe even, oh right, I see that, yeah, this, why is that width 40? Oh, right, okay. I forgot that this thing, the cell size also needs to be a little bigger. Okay. So then we have our buttons that are sort of a little vertically oriented there. And I can make the experience indicators be a little smaller. So like 20 by whatever size these images are. 400 by 500. 20 by 25, how does that look? Yeah, it's not too bad. Jennifer can go and make this work a little better. So basically, if there's different numbers of experience, it'll like, you know, align them to be centered or whatever. Usually there's 2, 3, or 4, so that's what we need to really worry about. I think that will do the trick for now. I want there to be a little bit of spacing between the buttons, so that's why I put like a 2 spacing in there. And now we actually have a Convert XP button that we can have. And we can configure it. So let's apply this. And let's save the project. And let's go back into the code. And we can actually call that line here. And we should see the XP be correct. And actually, it should work. At this point, because that Convert XP control is all hooked up already since I copied it. All right, so now they're a little wider, but that's because I want to be able to have a more usable control size. And we'll play with the look a little bit. I'm curious what's the maximum number of items, just to make sure we're going to be able to. I think level 4 you can have 7 items, so that's going to go a fair ways across the screen. But I think we'll. So we might have to adjust the size again to be a little narrower or something. But we'll go with this for now. So you can see that the first one has 4 experience, 3 experience, 2 experience. So I should be able to click this, and yep, I get the experience. But it doesn't clean any of that up yet, which we need to do. So let's do that. And let's also update those numbers to be what we want. All right, so let's do the updating the numbers bit. So we want to update the items to be the natural ones. I think we have a yeah. All right, so actually, yeah, so for strength, I less than less than or equal to health. Right, we can get the item view for that. And we can configure it with the natural value. So we can say it is, the item is I, and the value is going to be the hero card get stat. I don't know if that's going to be the natural stat. Let's try it. I don't remember what it does. Cytosine must join a work call. Have fun. Oh, we have invalid arguments. Oh, this should always has a value. I don't know why that's nullable. Hero cards always have all stats, but okay. All right, so that is actually showing the full value, not the individual value. Do we have a way to get the natural? There is these things innate. But can I just get it by the item type, like the other things? Let's go see. Opening up the engine code. All right, hero card, controller. So these get stat, what do these even do? Oh. All right. This should be a switch statement, not else if. All right, so I guess I can use I can just do a little math, I guess, to find out the innate value by finding out there's this other method, get stat from items. And that's not nullable. And then we can just use the difference. And that should result in the natural ones. And I think I'll make a helper method to toggle between these two views here as well. Let's have a look and see what happens here. All right, choose the item. Yep, I think that goes back to the natural values of the paladin. Cool, and so we just need to handle deactivating it. So I'm going to add just a little helper here, show natural item values. And call that here. And I'm going to add another method, which is show total item values. Or we'll call it stat values, I guess. And that's going to be similar, but with different math here. So it's just going to be the total. Cool. All right, so that's great. Now there's a method here, deactivate select card, that we're already using for the skill view one. So we need to hide the item columns and show total values again. Okay, so we have this handy helper method I made before, which is so in the skills it's a little different because the skills, just like there's that convert XP button that's always there in the skill view, it just hides or shows it. This, we're actually going to get rid of those columns. So we're going to just, for now, we're not going to animate it. We're just going to destroy all children. That's right, Jeremy. Destroy all children. That's the name of the method. He will not approve. And then let's show total values, total stat values. Cool. And this is going to be a little weird because we actually right now showing like current health. Maybe I'm just going to change this to total health because Jeremy says he's at it again. I'm going to start this other change because I'll get this other change in. That's the next thing I'm going to do. Total health. And total health. Okay. Oh, I'm going to change it so we show damage tokens instead of having that in the number, because that makes it tricky for this feature. So, oops. All right, so now this should complete this where we're able to convert the item to XP. So let's take a look. Takewalker says, destroy all children, the next hit game coming from Handelabra. Now you know whenever you click one of these buttons, you're destroying all children. Cool, so we have the base health of 5, and then that makes 6, 7. So here we can sort of decide like, well, I have this item, and I can get 2 experience by converting this, so I should end up with a total health of 8. Which I do once it moves over. So, and I got 2 more experience points. That's all super great. It's not showing the damage properly though, so let's save this work though, and then let's do that other feature, which is one that I wanted to do. So let's make sure we're saved here. Oh, and I can get rid of this pop out. That pop out prefab can live there inactive. It's okay, and that will make it easier for Jennifer to edit it. So let's commit this code, these changes. That looks good. And we'll say UI support for converting item to XP. All right, let's go to our Trello board and update some cards here because that was this one here. Excellent. And I'm going to convert this to a card, and Jennifer can look at that later to make the buttons look good, because that's all functional now. And there was another, yeah, show damage tokens on hero cards instead of changing health item number. That's what I wanted to finish up now. And we'll get this feature in, and that'll probably be it for the stream. So let's check it out. So that's something we're going to want to do on the hero card view. So I actually did this already, something similar on the not 100% similar, but slightly similar on the stairs view. So if we see here, actually on the stairs view, you can have up to 3 tokens on it, and so like it shows the right number of tokens. And so we can do the same thing for the hero view. Takewalker says there's lots of stuff to be done. That is true. There's still lots to do, but progress is going well. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a place here. I think in the portrait panel is good as well, is where we're going to want that. Actually, I think I want those tokens to go like right on the hero here, and I want to make sure actually where there's going to be room for them. I think they can probably just sort of go like right off the health, or maybe below the health here, because when you know when we do this, you still want to be able to see what your health is when this pops up. So something like, yeah, probably along the bottom we can have the current damage. So let's do that. And I don't know what's the maximum health you can have. It's probably like roughly 10 or something like that, but we'll make sure to handle as much as needed. Yeah, so I think in this portrait panel is a good place to put our container for that. So we're gonna have a container with a grid. And we might mix it up and make it a little more random looking later, but for now, that's the easiest thing to do. So let's just make an empty child here and call it damage container. We'll tuck it along the bottom at a height of, say, 50. And we'll add a grid layout group where each cell is going to be like, oh, not that big, 25 by 25. And we'll put in one of these health tokens. Hey, get in the grid. There you go. Cool, so I'm going to, where's my little health image? And that's actually 349 by 445 is 0.78. So let's make this the right aspect ratio. (25 by 32). And we'll give it a little, yeah, I want this to actually start sort of maybe like here. I want it to be sort of on the card, right? So and let's just do that for now, and then if we have like a few, they'll just sort of go across, and we can make them go up by saying it's going to start at the bottom, and we can say that this is actually about like 8, 9 from the bottom, 10 from the bottom. Child alignment lower left. Yeah, let's make it like 12. And then if we add some more, they'll start counting up over there, and we can make this a little narrower so that 45, say, 50, say, no, 44. I want it like one more. Whoop. Well, that's okay. we'll adjust these here. So now, like you can see, we can hold like they'll just go up the card. So that's cool. So and we'll call this damage token. And we'll make this a prefab. It'll obviously it's pretty simple. It's just an image, but we can create as many as we need. Because unlike the stairs card, we know that there's going to be like there's always exactly the maximum of 3. But for damage, it could be basically any amount. So let's put this here. And this is a card part because it's going to be something we. Well, I guess it's over here. No, wait, that's. I didn't want to make that a prefab. Can I undo? Oh, I can undo. Okay. I want this token to be the prefab. And then we can use like a different image, or we can style it or something like that if we want. So the damage container here, that's great. And I'm actually going to delete this one out of it. And so basically, that is what we need to do here. And we just need to have the hero card view know how to deal with that. So we want to have a damage token parent, and we want to have, it's just, I guess it can be an game object, doesn't actually have any component on it, damage token prefab. It has an image, I guess it could like, we could animate that. We can add more to it later. Right, so in this configure, we want to show the right amount of health. So I'm just going to add a little helper method that we can always use to show the right amount of health. Update health, or update damage tokens. And we'll just call that here. And just to be simple, what we're going to do here is just like get rid of all of the damage and create them all again. This obviously we can improve this to only create or delete the right amount. Maybe I'll just do that. Sure, we'll do it the right way first. So so what we should have. So we'll call it the card damage. Hero card damage wounds. There we go. And we can say if, or I guess like while there aren't enough, add them more, and then while there's too many, take them away. So while damage token parent dot child count less than card damage, add one. Instantiate and we'll just make sure that it's active. And if it's too high, get rid of one. And this could, we can animate this later too, but I'm not going to do that right now. We'll just get rid of the first one. So they're all the same. Get child. And it's important here to set the parent, because otherwise it will never, this will be an infinite loop. And we'll destroy it. Cool. So we have this update damage tokens that we're going to call here, but we're also going to call it in other places where it changes. So actually, yeah, this we don't actually want to. We don't care about changing that item view anymore. We're going to actually update the hero card. Hero view. Find hero card view. Heal.hero being healed. And update damage tokens. Cool. And we'll actually do the same exact thing on the take damage action view. We'll just update the tokens. Cool, so we'll need to hook up those properties. Oops, that's different. Oh, What did I do? What? This, okay. Some hotkey caused a weird problem. Damage dot hero being damaged, sure. All right, so we'll hook up. Actually, one thing I need to do is just check, since, remember, the hero card view is similar where there isn't always, so there might not necessarily be a damage token parent, depending on the card view. So we'll definitely check to make sure they're null before proceeding with this. So if we have a hero card view that actually is just, showing some other part of a hero and not the damage, then this will not crash. I mean, it won't crash, but it will stop. All right, so this hero panel should, have a hero card view, and we need to hook up the damage token parent and the damage token prefab. Excellent. And so now we should see how much damage we have. Cool. So we have 7 health total, and we have 6 damage tokens on us. So this might be something that this is one of these things with development that it's like, would you rather see the number be your total health, or would you want to, do something else? So maybe we'll have some other way or toggle to indicate if you prefer it the other way or something. But this is sort of more true to the board game, so let's keep it like this for now. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with what I was going to do. So yeah, that's good. So that didn't change my damage. What's your damage? But I could use my potion. And cool. I got an error here about destroying it. That's interesting. But it still worked. So now I have 4 damage and 8 total health, which is pretty good. So let me commit that, and then we'll just keep playing the game. And that will probably take us to the end of the stream. Display damage tokens on hero card. On with our mission, Leo says. So, cool. That is... Let's see how far... Let's see if we can get to the boss. The boss is not implemented, so we'll see if we can get down there. Alright, we'll continue on. Alright, so I continued from that previous file, so I'll take that, and I'll use this potion, and open another door. It is an ethereal. Immediately discard all 1s and 3s rolled. Whew. I think we can take it. I'm using the heroic feat though. I need that. But don't be a 3. Oh, I got an error. It's probably... Oh wait, what is there? No, it's just this. Oh yeah, it's just like this damage token is just floating off in nowhere. Well, that's fine. I'll figure that out later. Alright, let's roll really good here. Right, so those dice were moved away, anything that was 1 or 3. But I have to cover the armor boxes. And I can cover this terrifying one. And I can cover these. Or that one at least. So here's the thing. I think I'd rather cover this 2 heart one instead of the heart and the time one. So I'm going to convert this into a heroic 5. And that's going to be it, because I can't use these for anything. And we loot. Yeah, that's steady hands, roll heroic die. That's pretty great. Though also leveling up is also really good, but I'm going to take the skill. We haven't had a skill yet. Alright. Should be one that actually works already, because I don't think it does anything new. Yeah, I can do the disenchant, I think, pretty easily, so let's do that. Especially with my... Oh yeah, again, no heroic die. Jean-Marc, help me! Give me my heroic dice. I'm going to use a skill that lets me roll heroic die. At least I get one. So I can cover that. Oh yeah, no problem. Disenchanted the flame statues like a boss. 3 magic to roll 2 agility. Yeah, I need that. I am agility poor. So let's explore some more. We don't have the... Ooh, the ogre. I can take the ogre with my setup. I'm ready. I'm using my heroic feat, though. I don't know if I can take the ogre. Hey, 5. It's good. The ogre doesn't have any special effect. He just has tons of boxes. Here, I'll make the view bigger here so we can see better what's going on. All right, look at that. So I can put a 6 right in here. There's no armor. It's just like a knockdown, drag out battle. This makes 9 exactly. And I can put this 5 here. I can spend 3 to roll. Yeah, that's going to make sense. Roll those 2. That's all right. And I get to roll a free heroic die. Oh wait, that's only with perils. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put a 4 there. I need to make sure that I can cover this 12. So I could put that 5 on the agility box. That would be great. That would be, yeah. And then all of these together could let me cover the 12. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to convert 3 and 3 to a heroic 3, and 1 and 1 to a heroic 1. And right, so this 5 can go here, and then these all add up to 12. I only take 1 damage. And oh, I have Chaotic Aura. 6 mana, pick a value, change up to 5 of your dice of that value to 6s. That is pretty great. I'm going to take that, since I have a bunch of magic. You can turn your 1s into something useful. Ice Elemental, yeah, let's do that. We'll roll our heroic feat, because I feel heroic. Look at my dice pool. Roll those dice everywhere. Wow, what horrible roll. But I can convert all of those 1s to 6s. Before doing that, I could roll more agilities. But yeah, I would have to spend a lot of mana for that. Or I can convert 2s. Yeah, I have 4 1s, 3 2s. I'm thinking I could... Yeah, I'm gonna spend a 5 and a 2. Oh, And that is not implemented. Change dice. Or select a number. Okay. Alright, so we can't do that. We actually can't use that skill yet. I'm just going to carry on and see how long I can survive, though. So I need to continue the game and just not choose that spell. But I'm gonna make a card to note for me to do that here. And actually, that's something I want to talk to Jean-Marc about. Is I think this shouldn't be like pick a number. It should be like you should just click on one of the dice, right? So let's go back to big view. So I can't use Chaotic Aura, but I can use my other one to roll 3. So I'm going to do that. Or roll. Yeah, these 1s and 2s magic are not useful, so I'm going to do that. And I can convert them to heroic dice, basically. So I have an armor box here, first thing to deal with. So I can fill it with these. Oh man, I have all these 1s I want to use. I don't want to implement that right now. It's the danger. So 4. Yeah, and agilities, these are basically just heroic die fodder. So I'm going to convert this into a 4. Then I can use that 6, 10, 11. Okay, well, or, yeah, I guess 1s are just not useful, generally. Unless I can make more 1s, but I don't think I can. Not in a useful way. So we'll fill this up. That's 8, 10, 11. We'll cover the 2 heart box here and the 2 heart box here. And that's, yeah, and then I can use this to cover this 1 heart box. That's the best I can do. Might have been able to do better. I don't know. If I could have used Chaotic Aura, it would have been really good. Oh, and we have the stairs. And actually, you don't really see because it doesn't show anything, but I took 8 damage, and so there's a game over action. The game is over. So we met our end at the Ice Elemental after all. With Chaotic Aura, I think we could have made it. Those would have been like all 6. I would have had like a whole bunch of 6s. But that's okay. We did well. So that's going to be it for the dev stream today. Thanks for joining. That was fun. You can see the game is getting to a pretty playable state, but there's still some work to do with implementing various skills and lots of visual polish and things. So, but yeah, so we'll keep trucking along and watch the next dev stream. It's probably going to be the first week of January, I expect, for some more. And with that, I will say good day and happy holidays.